Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is the weekly Tottenham news review with me, Lee, the Dorset Spur, and as you can see, I'm actually out in the car today, but wanted to take the opportunity to talk about the last week as a Tottenham fan, with all the news and everything that's been going on. So it's not been a bad week, has it? Let's be honest. So we kick off our Champions League campaign this week, and at the same time, that's on the back of a convincing win against a London rival in West Ham United at the London Stadium. So great result and decent game, to be fair. The first half, a little bit edgy. I wasn't convinced that we'd had total control, although we didn't really feel under any pressure. A couple of opportunities for West Ham. Paqueta, I think, had a decent opportunity, but nothing really to trouble us too much. Come the second half, we really took control of that game and took it to West Ham and did exactly what we needed to do. Lucas Bergvall getting the man of the match, but I think, you know, to be fair, there's quite a few players who could have got that award, because I think they played particularly well across the board. I know West Ham fans are calling out that Mohamed Kudus wasn't particularly good, but actually I thought he did all right. I didn't think that there was too much in it. He kind of gave him a few things to think about down that right-hand side, and that was good to see. So I was more than happy with the game. Excellent goal from Lucas Bergvall from a brilliant cross from Romero. Really, I mean, you know, his passing range is really, really good, and to see him, you know, play that ball the way he did, Bergvall running off it, keeper in no man's land, actually was a sight to see. Great header, and really enjoyed seeing that one go in, and that kind of made us feel safe, to be fair, because obviously at 1-0 you're never convinced that that's gonna be enough. So, you know, the first goal from Pap Sarr, who's, by the way, had a great start to the season. Even through pre-season, I thought he was probably one of our best players. Ball played in, another set-piece goal. Ball played in by Siemens in his debut. Gets that ball straight across and at the back post, and Sarr is standing there in acres of space. Acres of space. He literally just directs it straight in. And that kind of puts West Ham under pressure straight away. So, but 1-0 is never enough. So when that one from Bergvall went in, I felt a lot more confident, a lot happier. And then of course we get the third goal to wrap it up from Van der Ven, and we all walk away very, very happy. It's been a while since we won at the London Stadium. We've had a couple of draws and stuff, but we've not really had the best. It's not been the happiest of hunting grounds, as they say. So yeah, a little bit I was a little bit surprised. I thought it would be tougher than that, but I thought the boys played really well and did exactly what they needed to do to win the game. So yeah, happy days. And of course that then sets us up quite nicely for our Champions League game. Now, I personally didn't think that we would I personally didn't think that we would run away with it in the Champions League against Villarreal. They're a decent side, right? And they've been in semi-finals and stuff. They've won the Europa League and all the rest of it. So I didn't think that they were going to be any kind of mugs, to be fair. And in the end, we were fortunate. You know, in that game, we were fortunate. The referee, I have to say, was diabolical, but he made up for being diabolical against us by being diabolical against them in the end. Because there was a couple of opportunities. I think, you know, Siemens was lucky not to get a red card in the end, 2 yellows. So you know, I was quietly happy about that, and that kind of what gives me the idea that the ref was a little bit okay in terms of the decisions he made, because we got away with a couple. the one right at the end where Van der Ven brought down their attacker, I was like, oh my God, there's a penalty. But luckily, referee was right; it was just outside, and they don't have the quality to really put us under any pressure to take that goal. So, to be fair, it was a decent result in the end. And to be honest with you, with the game in the Champions League, it's always just about the result, isn't it? It's not really about the performance. I mean, you'd love the performance, you know. And I loved the West Ham performance against Villarreal, but I felt that we were almost playing. We got the goal, and we were almost just playing to defend that goal, that we were confident that we weren't going to let anything in, and therefore we were just going to take our time and not push it and take the result. And I think by doing that, taking our foot off the gas a little bit, kind of made it a bit of a dull game, to be honest with you, and not a great performance. I think had the keeper not made such a howler, and I even now I'm still not sure how he managed to put that in his own net. Great ball across from Bergvall, of course, and under pressure from Richarlison, because the keeper needed to get there. But it's almost like he pulled the ball into his own chest and then spun it, and it went behind him and went into the goal. It was like, I don't know how you've even done that, mate, to be honest with you. That's pretty impressive that you could do that and score a goal against yourself. But I guess with pressure from Richarlison and stuff, maybe that he was nervous early in the game. But I think if we hadn't have scored that goal, then I think it would have been a different game. I think we would have probably pushed on a lot harder, because in the first half, certainly there was opportunities for us to actually get a goal, and it was just, you know, unlucky. And I think as the game went on and we realised they wasn't really threatening us enough, we had the opportunity really to just soak it up and carry on. And it looked like they were playing with so much confidence at the back. It wasn't really an issue. I do want to give a bit of a shout out as well to THEFC Flags. I thought they did an amazing job with the TIFO thing that they did. It's great to see that. I think since Vinay Venkatesham has come in, I think there has been, the club have made a bit more of an effort to engage with those kind of fan groups, and I think that shows, because also we talk about what happened at Bodo with the scarves, the tifo that we had after that, and then they've done this one here, which I thought was probably the best one yet. I really liked the design of it. I thought it was really cool. Just a shame really that there wasn't a full house to create an atmosphere. And I think that's down to the club, and down to the fact that they priced this one at £60 in a midweek game. It's always going to be difficult, because you've got, you know, a lot of supporters travelled from quite a distance, and evening games, having to take time off work and so on, it does make it different. It makes it difficult. And I think, like for me, I would have had to have had 2 days off, or at least a day and a half off, to be able to attend. And then you've got to pay 60 quid for a ticket, and then they serve up that kind of performance. That doesn't really help, and that doesn't help the atmosphere. If the performance is poor, then that doesn't help the atmosphere. So you can't expect the fans to get up for it when that sort of performance is being played. But you know, you pay your money, you take your chances. You know, some games are going to be super exciting, some games are going to be a bit dull of dishwater. What you want is you want the result at the end of it. So yeah, I guess the best thing in terms of the atmosphere was when a certain player, ex-Arsenal player, came on the pitch who's facing some allegations that he denies. When he came on the pitch, that really got the crowd up, and the commentators were really trying their best not to talk about why he was being booed, kind of aligning it to the fact that he was an ex-Arsenal player. Where, yeah, okay, he was going to get that, but then so did Pepe. So, you know, trying to be super careful about what they say. But yeah, so that kind of did get the crowd up that little bit. But that was probably the most atmosphere you really saw there. So difficult one. But we'll see how that kind of pans out next week when they when we've got Doncaster in the cup for another midweek sort of 7:45 kick-off. So yeah, it's interesting how it panned out. I say a win's a win, and interesting as well. Thomas Frank, I think he's really growing in terms of his interviews and his honesty. But it's really cool to hear him talk about, you know, when things are not quite working how he wants them to, and you know, because he's seeing the things that we're seeing. So it's not like he's seeing something different or not seeing some of the stuff that we're picking up. Because Spence and Xavi together on that left-hand side just really wasn't working very well. And he kind of picks that up and he says, well, it's only their second game together, and da-da-da. So he's recognising what we're seeing, and I like that, and he's honest about it. So that's always good in my mind when your manager can talk like that, because then he convinces you or gives you the insight that he sees what you see, and so that's a really thing. So it's interesting to see that, and I got a lot of time for him. I know fans have been really keen on Thomas Frank and some of the stuff that he's done before. So it's good that that's kind of coming. You know, you can see it actually happening. So I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I'm going to keep it short today because I'm out driving and I'm just getting back home. But yeah, in terms of the week, a good week for Tottenham. Not a lot of other stuff is kind of going on. There's bits and pieces, fan advisory board stuff going on, and all the rest of it. But of course, the main things has been the opportunities and the matches we've had, and the wins that we've carried. So far we are still we're still there with only one goal conceded so far this season, which is amazing considering where we were last season. So long may that continue. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, up the Spurs.